Welcome to Nasdaq TradeTalks. I'm Jill Malandrino, Global Markets Reporter at Nasdaq, coming to you live from Consensus in Austin, Texas. Joining me for this segment, we have Dr. Alun Evans, co-founder and CEO of LAOS Network. We're here to discuss enabling the creation of assets for developers who are impacted by scalability issues and, of course, high transaction fees. Alun, it's great to have you with us. Welcome to TradeTalks.
Thank you very much, Jill.
Let's talk about the LAOS Network. How is it making minting assets on Ethereum and Polygon cheaper and faster, more accessible for developers?
Yeah, so actually 20% of all assets on Ethereum and Polygon, other EVM chains, 20% of all gas spent on those chains in the last year or so has been on minting of assets, whether it's on tokenization of real world assets or minting of tradable assets in games or NFT collectibles. And what LAOS does is essentially offload that minting from those EVM chains like Ethereum and Polygon and so on, generating assets that are 100% compatible with the existing ecosystem, but spending an order of magnitude less gas.
Would you say that's the #1 challenge that developers face on Ethereum and other major layer ones?
I think the problem we have with Ethereum right now is that it's become the place to be. Everyone wants to be on Ethereum, and so it naturally becomes very congested, which is why we have this proliferation of layer 2s, right, that do different things. LAOS is not a layer 2, it's actually a layer 1, but it's very heavily focused on just doing one thing, which is minting assets, tokenizing assets basically, right? And we connect with Ethereum in a bridgeless way, which allows us to offload that minting costs from Ethereum and from Polygon and from any other EVM chain, with the assets being exactly the same as they would be. So you can tokenize a real world asset in Ethereum straight away, doing so for a fraction of the cost you would do on Ethereum, and it's exactly the same. It's tradable in ETH, it appears in regular wallets, you can do whatever you want, so there's no difference there. So what we're doing essentially is reducing the costs for minting and eliminating congestion.
Why does it continue to be so expensive if you can go directly to Ethereum and mint assets, if I understand it correctly? Why is it still so expensive if rather than having to go through a network such as yours, why can't they just go directly to Ethereum? Why is it still so expensive? It almost sounds like it should be democratized.
Yeah, it's a great question. Ethereum has become very busy now, right? And of course the recent Dencum upgrade has made things a little bit cheaper for layer 2s who are piping their transactions down via the different ways they do that. But if you actually want to tokenize directly on Ethereum and mint directly on Ethereum, it's still expensive, right? It's just a weight of volume of traffic that want to do so, right? And what we want to do at LAOS, what we're doing at LAOS, is directly targeting that, right? So if you want to mint 100,000 assets on Ethereum right now, tomorrow, or today, you basically can't do it. You'll just crash Ethereum if you try to do that, let alone pay quite a lot of money in gas, right? With LAOS, you can do exactly that, and as I mentioned, the tokens are identical. They're exactly the same as any other token you have in Ethereum, and they're tradable as usual in ETH after that.
Do you think there are too many projects coming online as the asset class continues to mature? What are your thoughts around that?
I think there's always, the fact that there are many projects is the sign of great innovation, and it means there is also a market pressure for that that exists, right? I think the fact there are so many projects means there's obviously a problem that has to be solved, and I think it's great because you get so much innovation and so many different approaches, and I think that's really great to see.
Like any other market, competition is a great thing.
Absolutely, absolutely, yeah.
All right, Alun, appreciate the insight. Thanks for joining us on TradeTalks.
Thank you very much.
And thanks for joining me from Consensus. I'm Jill Malandrino, Global Markets Reporter at Nasdaq.